From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Saturday, June 28, 2025. I'm Ronaldo Adams, and thank you so much for joining us. The People's National Party is once again making claims that the Jamaica Labour Party is deliberately removing its billboards. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell is of the view that the JLP is showing signs of desperation in this continued act of alleged sabotage. More in this report.
The Labour Party has been removing billboards from several constituencies, and they've now started in Westmoreland and more so in eastern Westmoreland.
And the accusations keep coming. The People's National Party is not pleased about seeing once erected billboards now on the roadways and discarded in bushy areas. Claims of blatant disrespect by the General Secretary, who insist the hands of their members are clean.
The funny thing is that we don't trouble their boards and they put them up. But now that they are going around and putting up theirs, they're taking down the ones that we have up in order to put up theirs. And, it's just the mischievous nature, it seems to be, of the Labourites.
For Dr. Campbell, the JLP should have learned from recent court ruling in favor of 3 PNP standard bearers, declaring the removal of campaign billboards as unlawful. Their billboards were ordered taken down on April 5 by the JLP-led St. James Municipal Corporation. Interestingly, days later, the Finance Committee of the municipality authorized removal across the parish of all PNP material. The affected PNP representatives had argued their constitutional rights were violated and they were being victimized and subjected to political suppression.
I want to make a public appeal to them to desist from doing so. It's not that boards win election anyhow, but I think that we have matured as a country to a point where we should allow people to campaign and allow the residents to make an informed decision about who they want to represent them. I really want to make an appeal to the General Secretary of the Labour Party, Dr. Holness, to speak to his members, to stop doing so, and just allow for us to have a free and fair election and an election that is free of fear.
Campaign activities not officially underway by either party. However, Dr. Campbell is appealing to the governing party to ensure their members act responsibly in the lead-up to the announced election date and thereafter. Dr. Campbell pointed to the JLP having the majority in the House of Representatives, adding he is confused as to the need for the removal of PNP materials.
I think it is well established in our culture that during election time, both political parties are going to use paraphernalia, part of which are billboards and poster boards. And we have not troubled any billboard, poster boards, or any other paraphernalia of the Labour Party, because we believe that we're in a democratic process and that both sides should campaign and let ideas contend and people decide which ideas are best. But for some strange reason, the Labourites seem to believe that they alone should be able to campaign. And that doesn't make any sense to us. It's a government that has done 2 consecutive terms in office of 49 MPs. So most of their people should be known, and they're the ones who are putting up boards and taking down the boards of their opponents. That doesn't make sense.
When contacted, the JLP's General Secretary, Dr. Horace Chang, said candidates have been given instructions to avoid any such activity. He admitted the party has enthusiastic supporters that may be guilty of such breaches and assured investigations will be conducted in relation to the claims. For CVM News, I'm Damon Phillips.
And in a sharp response, Abka Fitz-Henley dismissed the claim by the PNP that supporters of the opposition are not guilty of removing any billboards or material advertising JLP politicians. Fitz-Henley rubbished claims made by Dr. Campbell that the JLP could be seeking to break the law and is adamant its members are being directed to act as responsible as is possible.
In support of what our General Secretary said, the Jamaica Labour Party's policy is clear. Our candidates are aware that we don't support or encourage the improper interference with billboards or paraphernalia of any individual entity or organization outside of what the law stipulates in terms of lawful interventions, which designated authorities or agencies may make when signs are improperly placed. Our candidates are aware of our position. In the lead up to any election in Jamaica, there are usually complaints emanating from the two major sides of the political fence about interference with billboards. This time is no different. We have concerns coming from our side about the interference with our billboards, our paraphernalia, and hopefully those concerns are treated seriously as well by the opposition.
The People's National Party accused the JLP-led administration of using dictatorship-type behavior, a theme they maintain is being seen more and more over. Dr. Campbell said the democracy the country enjoys must be respected. However, the JLP took great offense and defended the party for its achievements, adding that this is a desperate attempt by the PNP to undermine those gains and distract the people of Jamaica.
This notion that we're going to take down people billboards, or that Desmond saying they're not surrendering the country, or Andrew Holness saying they don't need an opposition. Those are all signs of dictatorship here, that a set believe that nobody else should be in the space other than them, and they should be answerable to anyone.
In terms of Dayton's mention of the word dictatorship, I don't mean to be offensive, but it's almost pathetic, because it shows up very clearly that in light of a record decline in poverty and unemployment, and a massive decline in the murder rate, the lowest we have seen in many decades, and an administration which is working hard to improve the quality of life of every single Jamaican. The PNP recognizes that they have no message. Their plans are not viable, and therefore they have resorted to this tactic of seeking to insert false narratives into the public domain in a bid to pull the wool over the eyes of the Jamaican people. But we are confident that the people of Jamaica will not be fooled.
For much needed transformation, a parish rich in tourism diversity but poor in maintaining infrastructure. Traffic congestion has tormented residents over the years, but according to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness,
the Port Antonio bypass will solve this. The new 18-kilometer corridor, divided into two phases, will divert through traffic from the fragile, congested coastal town center, cutting travel time, reducing transport costs, and unlocking vast development potential inland. In so doing, it will unlock new commercial zones, stimulate land development, and create room for expansion.
Member of Parliament for Eastern Portland Anne-Marie Vaz outlined the scope of the project and the timeline of its completion.
The bypass will take place in two stages. Phase 1, Norwich to Turtle Crawl, and Phase 2, Turtle Crawl to Boston Bay.
The bypass is expected to reroute traffic from the narrow and often gridlock roadways that run directly through Port Antonio's commercial hub. The Prime Minister revealed the project costs millions, but is worth the investment.
The government of Jamaica has committed approximately $81 million for the construction of this project, and another $521 million for land acquisition, with over 200 parcels to be acquired in Phase 1 alone. The National Land Agency has already begun the acquisition process, ensuring that every affected landowner is treated with fairness and dignity under the provisions of the Land Acquisition Act.
With construction now underway, all eyes are on Port Antonio as the government pushes forward on one of the largest infrastructure undertakings in the cradle of Jamaican tourism. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
The Kingston Stock